Some people complain about how things used to be cheaper in the good old days. Even a cursory look at old catalogs shows that's not true. So I decided to dig up and crunch the numbers myself. Ever see Miracle on 34th Street? About 16 minutes in is this gem.
What do you want for Christmas, Peter?
I want a fire engine just like the big ones, only smaller. It has a real hose that squirts well hot water, and I won't do it in the house. I'll only do it in the backyard. I promise.
Say, listen, what's the matter with you? Don't you understand English? I tell you, Macy's ain't got any. Nobody's got any.
Now, you don't think I would have said that unless I was sure, do you? You can get those fire engines at Schoenfeld's on Lexington Avenue. Only $8.50, a wonderful bargain.
Did you catch that? A fire engine costs $8.50 in 1947. That would be $91 today. No wonder kids only had a handful of toys back then. But 1947 might as well be a million years ago for some people. So I decided to use the dawn of the 80s as my benchmark. That's 35 years, and a lot's changed since then. For one thing, the little girl in the picture wearing the adorable red dress, well, she's in her 40s now, and probably dressing with a little different sensibility. While the boys in the catalog, also in their 40s, are probably still dressing like Leisure Suit Larry kitty rapists. It's weird, they look so mature, they grow up so fast. JC Penny and Sears were the two biggest retailers, so I'm going to compare them with Amazon and Walmart from today. And I'm going to skip the absurd items where prices have plummeted since then, because they don't help. It's not helpful to point out that 19-inch TV was $589 with a remote, while today you can get a massive flat screen for the same price, also with a remote. A decent alarm clock radio was $40, which adjusted for inflation would still be $131 today. I certainly won't bring up all the worthless kitsch you can now get at the dollar store, which is just as good or better than the crap you could pay $8 for. And I'm going to leave out the insanely dangerous, finger-pinching, child-chucking, spring-loaded bucking bronco somehow innocently called a rocking horse. That was only $50, and still legal in all 50 states. Remember those? Insane, right? Turns out they still sell them on Amazon and Walmart.com, and both within $5 of their adjusted inflation price. Not bad, considering all the liability. No, we're going to look at things that are largely unchanged, technologies that were established then, that are established now, things you'd still buy. So let's start in the kitchen. That crock pot that used to cost $27.99 is now $23. The electric griddle at $32.49 is now $23. The $20 waffle maker is only up to $21 on average, though it's cheaper at Walmart, $18. The popcorn maker they sold for $25 in 1980 is now $17, though frankly, who would buy it? The $20 coffee pot sells for $15, and it's got a hell of a lot more features. Jumping to 1983, this one cracks me up. You find a fridge. We get this ugly, huge, very feature-poor 18 cubic foot chunk of energy guzzling garbage for the low, low price of $500. Yeah, way better version of the exact same fridge today is only $551. It's literally gone up 10% over 32 years. And the new one will save you that much in electricity over the life of it. So basically, if you take the energy cost plus the purchase cost, the new fridge is free. Looking at the steel constructed Matchbox cars, we can see that an 8-pack used to cost $7.99, but now a similar bulk package comes out to $7.92 per 8 cars. So even toy cars, steel toy cars, cost less than they did 35 years ago. Decent ice skates went from $70 down to $40. Cheap roller skates and even decent roller skates cost $10 a pair less than they used to. Even 10-speed bikes have gone down in price, while the selection has gone from a couple models to hundreds of models. The Humble basketball, once $6, is now $7. Oh, what have these 35 years taught us, if not nothing? Those $50 binoculars can now be had for $18. Electric shavers have gone up in price from $33 to just $35, an appreciation of less than 10% over 35 years. Hair dryers have gone from $10 up to $11.50, but for an 85% more powerful dryer. They used to be, 1,000 or 1,100 watts, and now they're 1,875. They couldn't make them like that back then because bathroom circuits hadn't yet been wired to handle that kind of juice. Who would need that kind of wattage in a bathroom? A $30 bathrobe back then in the 80s, with inflation, that would be $100 today. You could buy a case of bathrobes for $100, and what you'd get is of comparable quality. Fuzzy bathroom slippers have gone from $6.50 to $7. Not a big deal. Blouses were a mere $20 back then, but with inflation, that's $65 a piece. Not to mention you can find them at Walmart and Amazon for about $11, and if you want something really high fashion, it's still about $20. I mean, you can go for more expensive stuff, but that was true back then too. A 3-piece polyester suit was $69.99. That's a pretty good deal. That's a good buy even now, except that when you consider with inflation, that's $230. You can do better than that today. Far better. Today you can get similar suits in the $60 to $100 range. I'm not making this stuff up. It's on Walmart and Amazon's websites. That's where I did the research. And you can do it without looking like a complete polyester plaid clown, which apparently wasn't something you could do in '79. And you remember how I said that the kids in those ads had grown up to look a little different? Well, sure, that's true, but the men in these suits ads have probably gotten older and died. Not just because it's statistically likely, because it isn't. They should still be barely alive. But no, it's just because they had the choice between wearing clothes like that and dying. And they did the right thing. That $39 gold tone Timex? Yeah, you can get those for $29 now. And it's the exact same watch. Boys' pants have gone from $12 up to $13. Not a big deal. A baby crib set with mattress. Ooh. Back in the 1970s, it cost $234. $234 for a crib and mattress set. That's $769 with today's inflation. Holy smokes. But today, you can get the exact same thing for $158. That's massive. It's like a third off what it cost in the 70s. That 10-piece screwdriver set has gone from a 1980 high of $14.99 down to $8. And maybe they're not as good, almost surely not, but how much life do you need from a screwdriver? A decent chainsaw has gone from $170 down to $130. A ceiling fan has gone from $200 down to $68. Though in fairness, the new models likely don't include the swag chain. I'm not even making it up. It's right in the catalog. A swag chain. So before I hit the last item, let me hit something else. Let me hit this pipe. Wait, what? No, seriously. The Sears catalog used to sell pipes. And at the bargain basement rate of $8.99. $8.99? 35 years ago? That's $30 in today's money. That's not a deal. You can get a much nicer pipe on Amazon today for $5.50. Okay, the last item is a Christmas tree. Now these may look good in pictures, but if you're old enough to remember, they did not look like this in reality, because we all had them when we were kids. They were wispy, scraggly bits of plastic-wrapped twine stabbed into a wooden dowel. They were garbage. And yet, they were $80, which sounds fair and would, unless you saw the quality in person and realized that they're garbage. A comparable entry-level tree today, and it may even have built-in lights, is only $54.80 on average. So let's mention a couple of caveats here. Quality was better back then. That's undeniable. JC Penny and Sears were no Kmart or even Walmart. The selection is now 100 times what it used to be. Plus, you get to read reviews, ask questions. really figure out what you're buying. Catalogs just couldn't offer that. Okay, so now let's say you want to buy everything on that list. Everything I mentioned. Back then, it would have cost $1,891. Yep, basically $1,900 to buy the list. So what is that worth? Well, at minimum wage, it would be 16 weeks to buy that list. That's a lot. At the median wage, it would still be 8 weeks. The same list today, in today's dollars, is only $1,554. So it's actually gone down in price by a couple $100, by 300 and change, by like $350. It's literally cheaper to buy the exact same stuff today as it was 35 years ago, not even counting inflation. Today, a minimum wage worker would only have to work 5.5 weeks to get everything. Not 16 weeks, 5.5. A median wage worker, rather than working 8 weeks, would have to work 7.8 days to buy everything on the list. So adjusted for inflation, that $1,891 that it would have cost back then, that'd be $3,891 cheaper today. Yeah, it would be $3,891 cheaper to buy that same list of stuff today, adjusted for inflation. So when Grandpa tells you things used to be cheaper, he's mistaken. We'll look at houses and gas and cars in another one of these, but for now, you can confidently say, "No, old man, you're lying, and I will put you in a very cheap home." At least, that's what I'd do if I wasn't such an orphan all the time.